Belief. What is belief? This is something I've thought quite a lot about. I run an initiative called the Free World Charter, and one of the things that we're trying to promote is actually a world without money, that we can actually move society beyond money altogether and actually have a much better quality of life and treat the planet and each other better. If you want to know more about that, check out the Free World Charter. But really, this time I want to talk about belief, because for me, belief is the thing that is the greatest stumbling block between going from a society that uses money now and a society that uses money and is better without money. So what is belief? Belief is really an idea or a conviction that lacks absolutely conclusive evidence. For instance, well, obviously most people have religious beliefs. Do you believe in God? Does God exist? Does he not exist? The reason that people have beliefs like that is because they don't actually have like absolute black and white truth and proof of one way or the other. So so it becomes a belief. So I've spent a lot of time to think about this, because the very notion of money itself, it's occurred to me now, is actually a religion. Money itself is like a faith-based religion. Why do I say that? It's religion because, for a start, the money that is actually created out of thin air. We always use money that's basically invented on a computer, though it doesn't actually have any physical basis. But more importantly than that, the way we use money is we exchange it for goods and services. But the only reason we do that is because we believe that it has value. So we believe that if we work, $20 worth of thing, that we're going to have $20 worth of work, we're going to have $20 worth of value or goods and services that we can use again. But really, this is just a belief. It's just a belief like no any other. There's no physical basis for money. It's really just the fact. It's just that it's like a social contract. We agree that this has value. So as long as everyone on the world agrees that money has value, then we can use it. But if, for the sake of argument, everyone stopped believing in money, everyone stopped believing that a dollar, for instance, was worth anything, if people stopped believing that, then it would be worthless. It would be really worthless. You try to pay someone for something and they say, I don't want that piece of paper, So it's really all a belief system, because there's no physical basis for money. To make a side point here, actually, there's actually no physical basis for the whole notion of exchange anyway. This is actually something that man invented, that we have this idea that you don't get something for nothing, and you have to give to receive. But this is something we entirely invented, because we have great brains, we have more complex needs than other animals, so we want more things. And the more things we want, the harder they are to get. So we have to kind of compromise and have an exchange system, so it makes it easier to get the things we want. But anyway, that's a side point. The point is that money is literally a faith-based religion. The only reason money has value is because we believe it has value. If we stop believing it has value, it has no value. Okay, so the point is, right, so I have it's been working with the Free World Charter, trying to advocate a moneyless society, which I believe is possible. Again, it's that's a belief, and many others believe this is possible as well. You can look up the freeworldcharter.org or the Venus Project or the Zeitgeist Movement and the Money Free Party or Ubuntu, and there's a few other ones like that who are kind of advocating pretty much the same thing. There's quite a big global movement about this now. So one of the things that one of the challenges of us is actually trying to challenge this belief that money has value. Sorry, I didn't really need the whiteboard, but anyway. Well, it's trying to challenge the belief that money has value. So what is a belief? A belief actually is nothing more than a logical concept. For instance, let's say God exists, right? God exists is a logical statement, okay? It's neither true nor false, but this is a statement. So what happens is this is an idea. And so an idea becomes a belief when it becomes surrounded by feelings. For instance, if God exists, if you're a religious person, brought up in a religious family. So, for instance, I love my family because they also believe in God. So therefore it gives me a better relationship with my family because they believe in God too. This is just an example, okay? Or I enjoy going to church because I feel good about going to church. I feel good about meeting people there, and I feel very calm and relaxed about that. I'm happy to be going to heaven. Again, I'm not saying anything bad against religion here. I'm just trying to point out. Religion is the most obvious example of belief. So I'm really just trying to point out how a belief actually works. The anatomy of a belief, really. That's what I'm trying to do here. So what happens then is just there could be various other reasons why you feel good about your religion. Like if, for instance, maybe one of your wife or your best friend or something like that is also a Christian or a Muslim or whatever. And so you have all these feelings. So what happens is that the internal idea, the actual logical concept of your thing becomes a belief because it becomes wrapped in this feeling, in the way it makes you feel. So whatever your belief is, that when you believe it and you get feedback from your environment and from the people around you, it makes the belief bigger. Now this is what happens. The belief actually becomes bigger. And it becomes bigger than the original concept. So, by and large, what can happen is that when you come along and you can actually negate the original concept, you can say, well, actually, this is not true, or there's a lot of evidence to say this is not true. A lot of people won't listen, or they won't pay attention, because of this feeling that's around it. So really the feelings are protecting the idea inside. We have an idea there, and the feelings are protecting it. So this basically comes down to the fact that humans basically are feeling species. We are governed by how we feel about things. Much and all as we'd like to be scientific and logical, it's just not the case. We are motivated primarily by the way we feel about things. So in the case of what we're doing with the free will chart, or for instance, we're also trying to say that, let's say the belief here is that money is good. Okay, money is good. Now, then we can say, right, we can use money to survive. We can buy nice food with money. I have a nice house because of money. I feel I have good status because of money. I feel good. Money gives me confidence. All these things, and money is by far the biggest, most successful religion of them all. So we have all these amazingly strong feelings around money that basically are saying that are supporting this internal idea. Okay, so and the problem then for what we're trying to do, if we're trying to say, okay, I think society can be better without money. I think we don't need it. Then suddenly you can't, because of all the feelings around it, you can't actually attack the central idea. It's almost like a biology. You have a central nucleus, which is the idea, but actually it's the mitochondrial stuff around it which actually protects it and which actually gives it energy. So it's the very same thing. It's kind of like a cellular thing. But that's what I have to say about beliefs. So if we're to try and reverse people's beliefs about money in particular, or for anything, but in my case when talking about money, then we can't just go in and logically attack the center, because we can't get at there. Neither, because these are all feelings based, neither can we logically attack any of these things, because these are feelings, and feelings don't relate to logic. They're like two different languages. So the point is, the only way then that you can actually persuade someone there is to imbue a different feeling which actually overshadows these feelings. For instance, let's say the most important one linked to money is survival. For instance, that it's good to be able to survive because money it enables me to survive, which is what we want to do most of all. So the only way you can actually negate this feeling is to actually show someone show someone or have them experience it in a way that actually they can actually survive equally well without money. For instance, I don't know, sorry, I'm just improvising here. Let's say there's no money there. And you can actually show them that you can also survive without money. And then this will sort of slightly erode at the one that's rating here. So this is why it's so important to offer an alternative or an example for people, to actually show them how the belief is wrong, or how the belief is vulnerable and can be changed. We have to actually have them experience or feel the alternative first. And then once you do that, then all this will break down very quickly. So this will go, for instance, and then if you can show that you can eat without money, then that's gone, and then you can have a house without money. And the idea is that as you break these things down one by one, you can actually overturn the central nucleus of the belief. So that's really what I'm about here. We're talking about how to break down beliefs, and money is certainly the most powerful religion in the world, and the most strongly entrenched belief. Mostly because it's linked to our survival. That it's very hard to break the link between money and survival, even though it's completely facetious. There's no such link whatsoever. But it's because our survival is our strongest instinct. We're trying to link it with there. So that's it. So if you want to try and help somebody to see how a moneyless society can work, or how you can overturn the particular ideas about it, you have to think about a belief in terms of a cellular structure with the logical component in the middle, and basically surrounded by like a whole cushion of feelings which are protecting it essentially. And the only way to actually change it really is to actually create the same feelings but with a different logical centre. Okay, hope this helps. If you want to look about more about moneyless society, look at freeworldcharter.org, and you can find out more there. Okay, thanks.